Hello and welcome to ITV News Meridian.
Tonight's headlines where you are. A delayed harvest and ruined crops. How the wet summer could keep food prices high. We're on a farm in Oxfordshire.
Less product available, higher costs. We already have food inflation of about 19%. It's not going to come down anytime soon.
2 stabbings this week in the Thames Valley. Now a theatre company is helping educate teenagers about knife crime.
Also this Friday evening, the outdoor space unveiled, making all the difference to children and families at a local hospice.
And all the action at Thruxton. The Superbike Championship comes to Andover for the weekend. Good evening. The recent wet weather could mean the price of basic food items like bread and cereal stay at record levels for some time. There could also be shortages in the shops.
Farmers here in the Thames Valley say torrential rain has delayed harvesting and ruined some crops, causing severe financial problems and keeping prices high. Mike Pearce has been talking to one farmer in South Oxfordshire.
At Dunstan Green Farm on the Oxfordshire-Berkshire border, they'd finished harvesting by this time last year. Today, only 25% has been done. It's because of the recent heavy rain, which also means some crops are damaged and can't be used for bread. The impact is that farmers are facing heavy losses and consumers can expect continuing high prices.
So that means as a business that our profit margin is shrinking and shrinking away. The subsidies that we used to receive from the EU were to help smooth out these ups and downs, but they're disappearing now and we're not getting those anymore. In terms of the marketability of our grain, if it gets wet for a long period of time, then the quality disappears. So this that you can see behind us is milling wheat. Now, if it gets wet, it will start to lose its ability to be able to be used for bread, so it loses something called its Hagberg and its protein content, which makes it unsuitable for bread making.
In the farmyard, they're using a giant machine to help dry the crops. The recent hot weather in Europe also means the grain we import is in short supply and adding to costs. The industry say climate change is having a major impact.
If you harvest your crops when they are wet, you have to dry them, and that costs money. And so it's adding to the cost, it's adding to the labour demand. But the big thing for farmers is it's adding to the stress of harvest, because they don't get up in the morning and know they're going harvesting, because they've got to wait for it to dry out and then they can go and harvest. But often the time it comes and rains again, which stops harvest again.
Farmers say the cost of fertiliser has risen dramatically, also adding to potential price rises in the shops.
If things all go wrong and you get a smaller yield and you don't get your premium, then you just end up having to take the hit. Some farmers this year have elected not to grow things like potatoes, which have a very high input requirement, a lot of fertiliser and therefore high costs, and they decided no, it's not for me this year because of the price of fertiliser. That will have a knock-on effect to the consumers, less product available, higher costs. We already have food inflation of about 19%. It's not going to come down anytime soon.
The better weather over the last couple of days is welcome, but the recent rain has clearly had a major impact both on farmers and the price we pay in the shops. Mike Pearce, ITV News, South Oxfordshire.
More of the day's news now, and a motorcyclist has died in a collision near Andover. It happened on Thruxton Down Road at 5 p.m. yesterday evening, involving a motorcycle and a lorry. The motorcyclist, who was in his 50s, died at the scene, his family have been told. Police want to speak to anyone who witnessed the collision or the moments leading up to it.
A 42-year-old man has been arrested by officers investigating a machete attack in Bracknell. It happened at 1:20 on Wednesday afternoon at a bus shelter outside Radius Court on London Road. The victim, in his 30s, sustained a stab wound to his face. A man was arrested on suspicion of GBH with intent. He has since been released on bail. Police believe the victim and offenders knew each other. Witnesses are asked to come forward.
Junior doctors walked out at 7 a.m. this morning at the Royal Berkshire Hospital in Reading and other hospitals right across the Thames Valley. It's the fifth strike in the pay dispute in England. The walkout goes on until Tuesday morning, and hundreds of appointments at the Royal Berkshire Hospital have had to be cancelled and will now have to be rescheduled. People are being asked to only attend accident and emergency departments if it is a life-threatening situation.
A fast food restaurant in Banbury has been fined more than £55,000 for environmental and food hygiene offences. Spicy Kebabish is owned by Adam Ahmed. He pleaded guilty to 9 offences related to waste disposal and food handling. It followed a series of council inspections.
Now, this week we've had stabbings in Bracknell and Reading, and Thames Valley Police are making knife crime a priority.
Meanwhile, an Oxford theatre company is highlighting the dangers of carrying blades. Outdoor performances with stunt bike riders and rap hope to appeal to teenagers and educate them on the dangers of being lured into drug gangs.
Penny Sylvester has been to watch their final rehearsals at the Greenham Arts Centre near Newbury.
The cost of living is sky high plus spending costs.
Knife crime, drug dealing, criminal gangs.
But the truth is they cut funding for the youth. They don't care about...
There's an energy about these final rehearsals as performers highlight the dangers of getting involved in county lines crime. County lines refers to the way criminal gangs move drugs across local authority boundaries, often recruiting young and vulnerable people to deliver the goods.
Although it seemed more of a choice when I was younger, the opportunity was still there to sell drugs, to do crime. But it seems that children are groomed in such a vigorous way and with such intent. That's the problem right there.
Find the door handle with your right hand.
The show tells the story of how young people are groomed and drawn into a world of crime, often under the noses of their family and friends, without anyone realising it.
Looking at then, you're in control of this now. You back out, doors, just hands, 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 hands. 3, 2, 1, punch through.
In the show, the revolving door represents choice.
Take it off, take it off.
It's about the choices we make, it's about the decisions we can take, it's about, do I step through this door, do I not? Am I being swallowed up in that whole life? Or quite often people that are involved in crime, in county lines, in knife crime, feel like they have no choice because they grow up on the estate or as a mixed race. And it's almost like the trajectory is already laid out for you. There is still a moment where we can go, I don't want this life. And that's something we're really trying to bring through this performance as well, that we have the power to still make those choices.
Their shows will be performed at outdoor venues like the Riverside and Greenham community centres in Newbury this weekend, before moving to Oxford. Penny Sylvester, ITV News, Newbury.
More of the day's other news now, and a solar farm in Graiseley in West Berkshire is a step closer to becoming reality. The council was granted permission last year to construct a site of over 30 hectares at Bloomfield Hatch Farm. The local authority says it started work on the design, and when it's built, it will have the capacity to power more than 4,000 homes for the next 30 years. It hopes to appoint a contractor to start the build next year.
Heathrow Airport says 7.7 million passengers travelled through the airport in July this year. That's up 22% on the same time last year. Bosses says it shows there has been a resurgence in foreign travel, and the year-on-year increase was driven by flights to and from Asia and North America, which did have travel restrictions during the pandemic.
You're watching ITV News Meridian in the Thames Valley. Thanks for being with us. Coming up, Andrew Pates here with all the sports news, including a record signing for one club in our region.
And weather-wise, we're going to lose the very warm, muggy air to get something a little bit fresher through the weekend. A repeat performance of what's been the weather over the last 5 weekends. I'll tell you more later on in the programme.
Why does the sunshine never last? And you can find much more on all of our stories on our website. Just head to itv.com/Meridian. If you have a story for us, do get in touch. The number 0808 1010 095. You can also follow us on social media. You know, we always love to hear from you.
Asylum seekers are being moved off the Bibby Stockholm accommodation barge in Portland in Dorset after Legionella was found on the ship.
The bacteria can cause a serious lung infection, Legionnaire's disease, and so the migrants have been moved off the vessel as a precaution. Ben McGrail has the latest.
Well, there are supposed to be 39 people seeking asylum on the Bibby Stockholm. They only arrived this week, but they're all having to be moved off today to be housed somewhere else as a precaution over their health. And the Bibby Stockholm, of course, is this symbol, the image of the government's migration policy, and it's a topic that's been raging as a controversy, not just here on Portland, but across the country.
I'm shocked and horrified that human beings can be endangered in this way. We were told that all of the checks were in place and that everything was supposed to be safe, and it quite clearly isn't. This has been a litany of disasters, one after the other. They've made so many mistakes and hashes, and it's all part and parcel of the problem of trying to rush things through.
We fundamentally oppose the use of the Bibby Stockholm as, I might almost say, a warehouse to stack asylum seekers into. We're now at an average of something like 450 days for the Home Office to arrive at a decision for an asylum claim. That means that individuals that go on this barge will be there for a long, long time.
Well, let me give you a bit of a summary of what the Home Office have said to us today, and they've insisted that every precaution has been taken to make sure that all of those people, the migrants who have been on board the Bibby Stockholm, are kept safe. They say that a sample of Legionella bacteria has been detected within the water system on the barge, specifically within the pipes. We know that that can lead to Legionnaire's disease, which is a type of pneumonia, but they say that none of the people on board are showing any symptoms, although it is still early. They have only arrived this week. We've been speaking to an infection expert about what's happened here.
What should have been done is you check that the water system is running at the correct temperature and it is safe. These are standard procedures, and what we can do now is clean the system, remove debris, remove biofilm, sterilize that circulatory system, and you will most probably need a re-engineering of the plumbing, 20 degrees to 45 degrees centigrade in dirty water where there's biofilm, where the bacteria thrive and grow and multiply.
Well, the Home Office has also said that the samples are literally just on board the Bibby Stockholm, so people on Portland have no cause for concern. But this is just the latest hitch in the government's plans to eventually house 500 asylum seekers on board. That feels a long way off tonight. Ben McGrail, ITV News, Portland.
And there's more on that story when the ITV Evening News continues with the national and international news at 6:30. Here's Kylie Pentelow.
Coming up, junior doctors on strike again.
What do we want? Fair. When do we want it? Now.
England's fifth walkout will last until Tuesday, with health bosses saying the NHS can't take any more. More delays to the government's immigration plan as asylum seekers are taken off the Bibby Stockholm barge after Legionella bacteria are found in the water. The death toll from the wildfires in Hawaii jumps to 55, with hundreds more missing. And can the Lionesses make it to a World Cup semi-final? We'll hear from the England manager before they take on Colombia tomorrow. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
But first, a hospice in Arundel that cares for severely ill children across Sussex and South East Hampshire has today opened a new play park and sensory garden.
It's been funded by donations, and Chloe Oliver has been speaking to children and their families about the difference it will make to their hospice stays and their care.
Well, despite this British summertime, that hasn't stopped plenty of children out enjoying the new garden here today. Well, Chestnut Tree House Hospice have created this space, which is fully inclusive and purpose-built for its users to come and enjoy. Well, Chestnut Tree House Hospice cares for around 300 young children every year. And today, we've been speaking to families and those children who have been here enjoying the garden today and hearing what they thought of the play area.
I think when you have a child like Nora, you have to deal with so many limitations on where you can go and what you can get fully involved in, particularly with another son who's sort of very mobile and excitable. So to come here somewhere that Nora can enjoy it and relax, somewhere that Harry can enjoy it and relax as well. There's nothing else like it here, really.
We rarely go to parks now because there's not the facilities for Gracie. So to come somewhere where they're both happy is amazing, yeah.
For Sen specifically as well, with the swings, you know, it's the first time Zach went on a swing and it was here. So it was beautiful.
Dozens of families here enjoying the hospice garden in Arundel, and I'm joined now by Anna from the charity to tell us a bit more. Anna, why is it so important to create an inclusive space such as this?
Well, all of the families that use Chestnut Tree services have children with life-limiting condition, and what palliative care is about living for the now. It's about having these experiences and opportunities, really adding life to shorten years and making those amazing memories, and this garden really helps us to achieve that.
Now, it's taken a year to build and a lot of research as well has gone into it. What has been the idea behind the play park and the sensory garden?
Well, the ideas come from the children and families themselves and staff, so we've had lots of planning meetings and we went out to a specialist company, but what we've really tried to do is make this space as inclusive and as accessible as it can be. So this sensory garden is there to stimulate those children's senses. Many of our children have sensory impairment, so it's the touch of those touch boards, it's the sounds of the wind chime and the musical instruments, so important. And then of course the adventure playground is just the accessibility, the incredible trampolines for the wheelchairs, a wheelchair swing, and to see the joy coming from those children and families already is just incredible.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for your time today, Anna. Well, it's been clear to see today just the laughter and the smiles on the children's faces here, how much they've enjoyed the new garden.
Oh, so wonderful that they actually got to design what they needed for them.
Such a special place for those children.
Wonderful. Sport now, and Andrew Pate joins us. Premier League is back this weekend, but Brighton already hitting the headlines.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are 111 million reasons for that, to be fair. That is the British record fee Brighton have accepted for Moises Caicedo. We'll head to the Amex Stadium shortly to get reaction. But first, we'll look ahead to the start of the Premier League and Brighton's attempts to do even better than their record-breaking sixth-place finish last time out.
Zero Accounting Software sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
They're having the time of their lives. Cup semi-finals and European qualification has seen pundits describe Brighton as the best-run club in the world. So what's their secret?
I think having a clear vision from the owner, having strong values as a club, treating people well and doing things in the right way wherever we can, but also trying to be as smart as we can, you know, to get the best talent in and develop that talent, sell it and repeat. And you know, there's a trick in that. It's hard work, but a lot of people are constantly working behind the scenes to give us the success on the pitch.
Captain Lewis Dunk joined the Brighton Academy as a 12-year-old and has made over 400 appearances since his first team debut.
The club's come a long, long way since I first joined. Obviously a League One club, with Dean Stadium, no training ground, training at university, now to this place, Amex and European football. So yeah, when I first joined I could never have dreamed of being captain of Brighton in Europa League. So yeah, what a ride it's been, and I'm lucky to be a part of it, and hopefully we can keep going forwards as a football club, and I'll stay here right to the end.
Bobby Zamora was one of the country's top goal scorers while playing for Brighton at the Withdean Stadium. He's hoping for another successful season.
We have the good run in Europe that we're hoping for, good cup runs domestically and a good run Premier League. You know, it's a hell of a lot of games, so it's going to be interesting to see how the manager can manage the squad, the players. But for me, it's obviously a good turnout in the Premier League, and it's top 10 finish, good European run, and I'll be a very happy chap.
Albion aiming for another record-breaking season. And boy, are they breaking records. As Paul Barber said there, it's all about get the best talent, develop it, sell it and repeat. Brighton signed Moises Caicedo for £4 million and have now accepted £111 million from Liverpool. At the Amex for us now is Joe Caution. Joe, another bit of great business.
Oh, a superb piece of business from Brighton, and it's something Seagull supporters have started to get used to from their club. Brighton accepting a British record transfer fee for Caicedo from Liverpool, but negotiations tonight are far from done. No money has exchanged accounts, no contracts have been signed, and Chelsea are still trying to hijack the deal from Liverpool. Both of those clubs play each other on Sunday. Whatever team Caicedo may end up lining up for, Brighton fans won't mind.
Let's be honest, 2 years ago, no Brighton fan had ever even heard of him. We found out he's fantastic, he's brilliant, he's really contributed to our club, he's got us into Europe, and we are not at the level of the traditional top four. We're top six, but we're not top four. And so we have to recognise our place in the food chain, if you like. And if you get an offer like that, I mean, £110 million, same as it cost to build the stadium, you've got to take it, haven't you?
Well, an astronomical amount of money to spend on one football player, and the news today has got a lot of people asking themselves, what would you spend £111 million on?
That's a tricky question. Definitely some kind of boat. Brighton Beach is great at times, but sometimes it gets too busy, so a boat to more just off the coast and still enjoy the sunshine.
Well, obviously world peace and ending hunger, but if that wasn't possible, I would just go on holiday for the rest of my life. I'd never come off holiday.
£110 million, I'd buy a big house in Spain and I'd basically live there and retire there and buy lots of sport cars, swimming pools and just live the life of absolute luxury.
Well, Brighton boss Roberto De Zerbi wouldn't say what or who he would spend the money on. He did say he needed to buy a few extra players though. He also told the media today Caicedo was never part of his plans and ruthlessly he's already been forgotten.
Because when the players leave is because they played well, but the credit is for the club, for the players, for us, the coaches. I think the big club can buy the players, but they can't buy our soul and our spirit. That's not on the market.
Well, I'm sure plenty of that Seagull spirit will be on show tomorrow when Brighton host newly promoted Luton Town here at the Amex on their opening match of the Premier League season. It's going to be a very exciting one.
Certainly is, Joe. Thank you very much indeed. Well, exciting times also for Bournemouth fans. Tomorrow's Premier League opener at home to West Ham will see Andoni Iraola in the dugout for the first time. At his press conference today, the Spaniard told us how he'd measure success this season.
I will be satisfied if people that come here every 2 weeks are proud of what they see and proud of the players' performance, and they want to come again and they want to support the players. That's a sign that we are doing the correct things. I want to make the team attractive for our fans, make the team efficient so we can achieve good results.
All our Football League sides also kick off at 3 o'clock tomorrow with the first home games of the season for Southampton, Oxford United and Swindon, Portsmouth, Reading and Crawley hoping to pick up points on the road. Finally from me, the Bennett's British Superbike Championship heads to Thruxton this weekend. Last season, the racetrack at Andover produced the closest finish of the campaign. This time out, race leader Tommy Bridewell is hoping for good weather at his local track.
We won the last 5 out of 5 dry races and hopefully we can add to that this weekend. But we'll see. It's notoriously such a different track than anything else we race. It's fast, it's flowing, it's wide, and it makes for great racing. So hopefully we'll see that come Saturday afternoon and Sunday.
Certainly hope so. Also tomorrow at the Women's World Cup, England's Lionesses take on Colombia. The match live on ITV1. Kick-off 11:30 a.m.
Your prediction for that match, Patey?
England to win, sail through to the semi-finals.
Really?
Absolutely.
Score?
Score.
No pressure.
God, no pressure. 2-1 England.
Yeah, I think that's right. And if you had 110 million, what would you spend it on?
Oh, cheeky little super yacht somewhere in the Solent, watching the football, a little drink. Why
Permanent
not?
sun shining?
Absolutely. Can I pay for that as well? Maybe not.
I thought you'd have brought up Saints. I'm quite surprised by that.
You know, I might need a little bit more, sadly.
What would you have, Kit?
Well, I quite liked the holidays for life we were hearing about.
Yeah, that would be
earlier.
nice, wouldn't it?
But
And a
will
personal
we be wishing?
chef.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be wishing for nice weather. Here's James Wright with the details.
Whatever the weather, it always feels like home. Valent Heat Pumps and Boilers sponsor ITV Meridian Weather.
Good evening, it's almost the weekend and it's going to look remarkably like the last 5 weekends weather-wise. Low pressure to the northwest of us, plenty of showers wrapped around that. Then as we go into next week, chance of a bit of a soaker before things settle down a touch on Monday with some proper high pressure. As far as tonight goes, well, we've had a front lurking nearby. That's now going to clear away, potential for a tiny bit of drizzle there. Generally overnight, not a great deal happening, plenty of clear skies around. And temperatures, well, it's going to be another muggy one, lows of 14 or 15 by the end of the night. Quite a lot of humidity trapped, but towards the end of the night, we'll start to see something fresher moving in. So tomorrow, sunny spells pretty much from the word go. The sunshine getting going on the ground helps to get these showers going. Quite a line developing through the southwest peninsula up into Oxfordshire. Further south, actually, could see some decent dry weather, but everywhere's going to feel cooler than it has done, back to pretty much average with highs of 20 or 21 Celsius. It's going to feel quite breezy too, particularly near the coast. At least that's going to help push through the showers. Sunday, kind of a repeat performance. Hopefully, again, a bit drier, more in the way of sunny spells, a little bit less breezy. So even though cool compared to Saturday, should actually feel a little bit nicer. You can start to see that little feature there that could be a bit of a troublemaker during the early part of Monday. The risk of seeing quite a lot of wet weather on that. It eventually clears away. Quite light breezes once again. And then Tuesday, start to see a little bit of high pressure building. Risk of the odd shower. Hopefully temperatures starting to rise just a touch. Have a great weekend.
Valent Heat Pumps and Boilers sponsor ITV Meridian Weather.
So one thing money can't buy is the weather.
Back to reality, another rainy weekend.
You've got your personal chef.
Oh, I'd love that.
Patty's got his super yacht. I've got holidays for life.
Yeah, somewhere lovely and sunny.
And the ITV Evening News continues next with Kylie Pentelow.
From all the team here, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful weekend, whatever the weather. Good night.
Bye-bye.